Hey guys, it's Justin again with another modeling book review. This is going to be the In Combat Painting Mechas by Mig Jimenez. This is a weathering book, and this is hands down one of the coolest books I've bought this year. This and Scratch Build Revolution are just through the roof, the greatest things I've read in a long time. Again, this is a weathering book, and it is completely in English, so everything that you can see here you will be able to read, you will be able to understand the techniques that are being used, and it will break everything down for you. Now, the meatiest part of this book, most of the explanation, is going to be weathering the RX-78-2, and that is done by Mig Jimenez himself. He's the guy who owns the brand ammo of Mig Jimenez. And he has been weathering for a very long time. He does a lot of armor modeling and things like that, so he kind of brings those techniques into this. And it goes into like brush chipping, sponge chipping, using streaking effects, different types of grime, shows you what colors to use. Where a lot of people think that you can just dry brush silver on everything, this really explains why not to do that, and how to use gray, how to use white, how to use browns, different tones and things like that to really bring your weathering to life, as well as pigments. Now, one of the coolest parts of this, let me bring my camera up, is it'll show a before and after of the kit. And this is the RX-78 3.0, and it's done in his colors, and then here it is weathered up and finished. And there's just a handful of pictures like this at the end of the book, and it shows off all the details and stuff that he's weathered and everything that he's done. I'm going to nitpick here and just say that he didn't weather the head enough in my opinion, but besides that, he did a phenomenal job on this thing. It looks really good. And then once that chapter is finished, it actually shows you a really big picture centerfold of the RX-78, and it shows you what products he used and where he used them. So if you want to mimic this, or mimic one of the effects that you see here, the chart breaks it down for you. The next build you have is a gun tank, and before I jump into how good this thing looks, I really love that modular painting. It looks super cool. One of these days I'm going to do that. But this guy gets like super in depth. He's got really nice chipping techniques and things like that, and throws some Warhammer decals on there, and just trashes this thing. It looks one of the best weathered gun tanks I've ever seen. It looks really good, especially with the custom colors. The next one is this really funky looking Zagok. Goes into a lot of different colored techniques and things like that, and I think the beauty of showing something with these odd colors like this is that it gives you an idea how to weather weird colors like this, and different types of weathering. So this one you're going to learn a lot of different techniques. And then probably the best build in this entire book is the Vodams kit that this guy builds. Just absolutely stunning. Dude goes all out on this thing. He scratch builds entire pieces. He modifies a lot. He changes a lot of proportions. He adds his own details, and all that gets covered in here. And he even explains what kinds of pieces he uses, how he builds some of the parts, what all he uses, and explains why he uses certain colors the way that he uses them. He does heavy salt weathering. He does heavy chipping effects, things like that. He uses a lot of different product. And then when all's said and done, this thing is an absolute monster. It looks fantastic. Just an incredible finished product. But then after that, you've got a gallery of other finished products. Here's a Sazbi Varka that is clean built, clean painted, and then chipped and weathered and looks really good. So I might have to do that with mine, maybe. There's a Gypsy Danger figure, another Vodams kit. Absolutely love the Scope Dog. This looks super good, no exceptions here. This is, I can't remember what this is called. I think my friend Darren has one of these, and it looks super cool. I really want to pick one up. But then there's a camphor, There's a GM. I actually saw this on the Mecha Lounge a long time ago, so that's really neat that this is, like, I've actually seen whips and stuff from this, and, you know, seen this put into work. I believe I saw whips on this one as well. And then there's just like some concept art and stuff like that. Or no, that's actually a model, never mind. But there is concept art in here. So there's a full gallery at the back of the book, and it shows a lot of different things by various people that Mig knows. And then there's also Mig's weathering products. He, again, runs his own line of products. And I actually picked up a couple of these. In commemoration for the launch of the book, he actually put out the paint set for the RX-78, which, again, in the back of the book we can see. It has whites, grays, yellow, blue, red, and then like a dark gray. And that's really neat. But I already have plenty of colors. I can mix and match and make the colors that I want to use. So I went ahead and picked up these two weathering sets. I picked up chipping set for Mecha, and this comes with Mig 044 chipping solution. Yeah. Oh no, that's chipping paint. Mig 2010, that's scratching effects, and Mig 1407, streaking and grime, and those are all packed nice and neatly in this little container. And, you know, here goes the engine grime. It's like a wash. The scratching and effects is like a fluid thing. You put it on, it dries, then you paint over it. And then this is just a chipping paint, so it looks really nice on parts that would rust, I guess. And then the weathering set 2 comes with dark earth pigments, streaking grime for DAC, I guess that is supposed to be dark, and then browns that are supposed to be used on whites for, I guess, more, well, it's a filter, so you kind of spray that through an airbrush and you'll get a really nice looking effect out of it. I guess you would spray it at a really low, at a really low pressure. I don't know why I drew a blank there. But you know, these look really nice. I'm really excited to use them. Another thing I picked up from Mig while I was over there, I figure I might as well grab some weathering stuff while I'm in the neighborhood. I picked up a light rust, a medium rust pigment. I picked up another dark earth, as well as 2 bottles of Pigment Fixer. What this does is you apply this over your pigments, and it kind of locks them into place. Alternatively, you can use enamel thinner. I don't know if lighter fluid would work. I might have to give that a shot. But what that does is it causes it to bond to the surface, and once that dries, it's locked in there, and it looks really good. And then you can lay weathering over top of that, or you can lay paint over top of it and then chip separately. And there's all kinds of neat little techniques I've learned online. But I'm going to highly recommend this book. I don't know if I would recommend it as much as I recommend Scratchbuild Revolution. I think more people are interested in the scratch building, scribing aspect of the hobby than the weathering, which I think is a little bit backwards. I think weathering is pretty essential, especially when you're building a lot of ground units and a lot of grunt units, things like that. A lot of people like to try battle damage, and they just kind of wing it, and a lot like I did a long time ago. And sometimes you get it right, sometimes not so much. But this book really covers a lot of the different techniques that is used in like actual scale model weathering. It goes over a lot of things that are incredibly useful, and I really recommend this book. It wasn't too expensive. The most expensive part of this book was shipping it, so if you're a little skeptical about that, pick up some other things with it, and you'll definitely save on that. But it's a really nice book. It's a really good read. There's a few like grammatical errors in the book, but anybody can get past that. But that's all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time. Later.